Yo. What is up, everyone, here on this terrific Thursday? I am Jeffrey Kirby. Tonight, obviously, as you can see, I am going solo once again tonight. Next week, we will have Kayla back with us, so obviously this week was school, school work, it happens, life happens. But I do want to say, what is up, everyone? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far, and we obviously got some big news. Some big news that came out today. Good evening. What's up, Derpy Gaming? How you doing tonight? I think it's your first time being with us. If you are, how you doing? Nice for you to come by. I appreciate that a ton. Are you a big football fan? And if so, what team are you are? And if not, what sports fan base are you are? End of an era. Yes, it is. It is the end of an era. Obviously, we got the news today. I was in the middle of class when this happened, but Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has officially retired from the game of football. And we all knew it was coming. We all knew. But it was the matter of how you were going to feel when it became official. After that Kansas City, let's start off with this. After that Cleveland game, the second to last, what was it, week 17, we knew, the way that we felt in that game was pretty insane. We all felt very emotional. Again, I was on YouTube live during that game, so I got to show you guys my raw reaction to that, my raw live reaction. Sir, not America's team. The Pittsburgh Steelers is my team, sir. Oh, I didn't say anything about America's team. I'm just, sir, not America's team. The Pittsburgh Steelers is my team, sir. Hey, I like that. The more Steeler fans in America, the better America is. And less Cowboys fans, let's be honest here. But, like I said, we all knew how we felt then. And we just did not know how we were going to react when the news officially happened. We all felt kind of numb. We were all down after the Kansas City game. And you're just like, okay, now it's a matter of when is it going to happen. We all thought it might be a little bit longer until it happened. But I guess it's nice at the fact that it did happen now. It was nice at the fact that now you give the front office time to focus on working on the next step of, I guess now you have to call it a retooling. I don't know if it's not, right now you can't really say it's a rebuild. Right now it seems like you're in a retooling process of, okay, what is the next step? Who are you going to take at quarterback? What options do you have? Line them up all. Obviously, there's the Aaron Rodgers thing which I'm going to get into because we didn't get into it last week, and I want to get into it this week. You have the Aaron Rodgers stuff that could possibly happen. You have, obviously, the draft. A lot of us, Steeler Nation, want either Kenny Pickett's is number one on most people's boards. You have guys like Matt Corral. You've seen Sam Howell's name linked to the Steelers. So you ask yourself, okay, what options are there? Or are you going to go with the in-house option? Are you going to go with try out Dwayne Haskins or a Mason Rudolph? Or do you just go into free agency? Do you go after a guy like Marcus Mariota? Do you go after a guy like Mitch Trubisky? And including in the trade situation, you have to at least acquire, or you have to at least ask about Derek Carr. I mean, and I know a lot of people are saying no to this, but you still have to ask yourself maybe the possibility of Jimmy Garoppolo, which I've been on that wave for months. And also for those who follow me on Twitter, you can see me, right here. You can go follow me on Twitter. But I was messing with people with that because I knew it was really irritating them. But I mean, it's a realistic option because no matter what, we all have that feeling that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be gone after this year, which is insane if they go out and win on Sunday against the Rams and they go to a Super Bowl. That'd be very insane. But it's a realistic option here. I was 7, ironically, when he was drafted. I haven't told you this story yet, so maybe at some point during the show, if you're with us still, I will make sure to tell the story about how I became a Steeler fan. Jimmy G to Pittsburgh, that would be awesome. So here's the thing with that. A lot of people are poo-pooing Jimmy Garoppolo. The moment you hit Jimmy Garoppolo to Pittsburgh, they're like, ew, no. But here's what's funny about it. When you give them just stats, no name, you just give them the stats, the record, completion percentage, touchdown, interceptions, they're like, oh, this person, whoever this is kind of interesting. You know, this might be kind of nice. Then the moment you hit them with Jimmy Garoppolo, they're like, ew, no. So there you go. It's all based on kind of narrative. And yes, I do understand that stats aren't everything. Because, I mean, let's look at it this way. Kirk Cousins had a hell of a year statistically, but I have no interest in Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't really feel like I do have any interest in him. So you ask yourself, so the Pittsburgh Steelers right now are in a very sticky situation in terms of what to do and what they're going to do. Honestly, I think we should trade for Wilson. So here's my thing on trading for a quarterback of that caliber. Obviously with Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I feel like the reason why I'm kind of into it is because right now when you look at the holes, but that's just me, I guess. Well, I can understand completely why you feel like that. I really do. Because the way that you feel about that is also the same way that you're feeling about Aaron Rodgers in a way, in terms of the caliber of player that he is, can really help you, can really elevate your team at the most important position. And yes, we do have the cap. But here's the thing that I'm looking at with this. And this, my opinion on this has kind of changed a little bit. Look at this roster right now. Going into the season, in the gaps and the holes that you have in this team. We all know the offensive line. You have a very young offensive line with Dan Moore, just got done with his rookie year. Kevin Dotson, he's a third-year player if I'm not mistaken. So, and then you had Kendrick Green, who's a rookie, playing out of position. And then you had Trey Turner in the playing right guard, who was on a one-year deal. He said he is willing to come back, but I have a theory on this. And then you have Chuks Okorafor, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's a free agent. And then you have Zach Banner, obviously, to take that over. Good riddance, Big Ben. Oh, here comes the Browns fan. Your nightmare is officially over. Your 18-year your 18-year nightmare is officially over. But when you just mentioned the offensive line there, offensive line is not exactly out of the realm of possibilities. Wide receivers, interesting. Here you go. Yeah, check out the regular season record. Yeah, he kicked your ass. He was the owner of your franchise. Once again. But you look at the wide receiver position. Juju's a free agent. He says he wants to come back, but will the Steelers want to bring him back? That's a question that needs to be that will need to be answered, in March when free agency starts. Chase Claypool, we all just saw he apparently has surgery. We don't know exactly the specific or the specifications of that. But that's something to watch out for. And plus, we all know the maturity level on him. This is really going to have to be a year that he needs to really focus up, mature up, work hard in the offseason, and get ready for year 3. Because year 3, especially with him, because he doesn't have that 5th year of a that 5th year option opportunity, now you have to really put yourself in a situation to make the Rooneys feel like they need to pay you at some point. Then you get Deontay Johnson. Yes, he did have a couple crucial drops in that game, but I'm not going to sit here and absolutely just harp on him beyond belief. I'm not going to do that. I still like Deontay Johnson. What he did in the regular season, the way he was able to step up when Juju Smith-Schuster went out, absolutely. I appreciate that a ton. And then you look on the defensive side of the football. You were without Tyson Alualu, without Stephon Tuitt all year long, and you saw what happened with your run defense. It was not good at all. In fact, I believe you were worse in the NFL. You were allowing holes that could fit semi-trucks. That's how bad it was. Now, Montravius Adams, he stepped up late, and he was making some key contributions. I would like to see the Steelers possibly bring him back. I would like to see that. I just don't think there's a good QB or any good QBs in the draft, and getting a veteran at the moment would be nice until we find a franchise QB again. Andy Dalton. Okay, so get to your thinking. You're thinking about Russell Wilson. The thought process of having Russell Wilson as a Steeler sounds great. But the reason why I'm leaning towards no to this is just because I don't think that, right, if you're going after that kind of caliber of guy, if you feel like you can really compete. Right now, with this roster that's on hand, unless you're able to do that and then use some of the use some money and make some extra money via whatever cap you have, Joe Schobert's contract, which is absolutely horrendous. Try to get that off the books. I just don't know if I'm on board with. I think I would much rather go with a guy like maybe see what happens with Marcus Mariota. See what happens with him. Or if you're going to trade for a first rounder, that you're right in a way of there's no. Like all these guys, I feel like what we're trying to do with this group is we're trying to convince ourselves that these are guys that are better than maybe what they are. This isn't like the 2018 NFL draft where you had guys that you knew were going to be studs. Right now you have Josh Allen. You had Lamar Jackson in that class. Those guys... Lamar Jackson's won an MVP. Josh Allen's already gotten himself a bag. Sam Darnold, we all know he was an issue. Josh Rosen, I was never high on to begin with. And then you have Baker Mayfield, where he was the number one overall pick, but you're kind of like with him right now. So you really have to really be careful with that, because going with a quarterback here, if he doesn't work out, really sets back your franchise. And what that also does is that really hurts some of the prime years of TJ Watt and the rest of Cam Hayward's prime. Then you're going to have to figure out, too, with the cap, what are you going to do with Minka Fitzpatrick? Are you going to re-sign him this offseason? Are you going to make him play this out and then see what you can do next offseason? I mean, those are all situations and possibilities you have to look out for. Maybe Watson. The issue with Watson is just we don't really know right now what the situation is. Now, yes, Watson in terms of age is nice because of the fact that you will be able to have him for a while, and he'll come right in and most likely be the second best QB in the AFC North and can easily elevate himself into being the best. I think right now which by the way, too, as you could, I don't have it in the title, but a little bit later on the show, I'm calling out every other fan base in the AFC North rooting for the Bengals. That'll be later on in the show. But now, get back to what we were talking about. The issue is, like I said, yes, it's nice with the Deshaun Watson situation, but right now that's just a little too much of a sticky situation. Hunter, your fan base has been absolutely dying for Deshaun Watson. And I'm telling you right now, that the irony that it would be that your fan base gave Steeler fan base hell for over a decade about allegations of Ben Roethlisberger to now have a quarterback of that caliber and what he's done in Deshaun Watson. So, that would be some irony. And now you will get a little bit of taste of your own medicine based on what y'all did. But like I said, I want to know from you, how does it feel that your nightmare is over? I mean, that's all you know, Hunter, is Benjamin Todd Roethlisberger whooping your ass. That's all you know. That's all you know. But, so, and what I was talking about with Russell Wilson is how I feel even more about Aaron Rodgers, especially with the age. The fact that Mayfield is garbage, Browns fans, because Mayfield is garbage, Browns fans, because of your... Okay. Yeah, pretty much. The Browns fan base is terrible. Worse than football, honestly. Jeff, sit back and watch Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. I appreciate you laughing, or I appreciate you making me laugh, because that's just hilarious, because I have a better shot of getting a six-pack here than Aaron Rodgers wanting to come to Cleveland, Ohio. Hell no. If you really think a healthy Baker Mayfield is garbage, then I suggest you watch some football. Oh, Hunter, trust me. You know I'll watch me some football. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, I feel like the amount of draft, and that's the other thing too that I'm forgetting to mention with this, is the draft capital when it comes to having to get those guys. Because the draft capital that you would have to give up is picks that you can use to really help booster holes that you have right now in this team. Obviously, for me, the guy that I'm really looking at right now for a non-quarterback is Tyler Linderbaum. I think a lot of us are. But we also have the fear that a team like that Baltimore would take him, which would absolutely suck. But what I would love to have happen is for the Steelers to take Linderbaum, kick Kendrick Green over to guard, and then you let him play at his natural position, and then you get yourself an Iowa offensive lineman, which we all know Iowa is a factory for offensive linemen. So that would be my best case scenario for that. Jeff, you don't even think a healthy Baker Mayfield is garbage. I do. He's not good. The only time that he's good is when everything around him is perfect. That's the only time we've really seen him have success in the NFL, is when everything around him is perfect. When the offensive line is completely healthy and they're doing what they have to do. When wide receivers are when they're actually catching footballs, when the defense is actually looking decently well, that's when Baker Mayfield looks good. The moment something goes off in that offense, Baker Mayfield looks like hot garbage. Be honest. Rookie year, everything was perfect. The issue with rookie year, no one knew what the hell no one had film on him. So there you go. The moment somebody got film on him, you saw what happened. Threw 20 plus interceptions his second year. And here's the thing with, and I don't necessarily, I'm going to say this and then we're going to get back into the Steelers. You can't use, I think the argument of Baker Mayfield's had this many offensive coordinators, I think is a bad thing. Because now you've ran, 3 different offenses? And all 3 of them you've struggled in? You had Todd Haley, which, okay, if you want to say rookie year, whatever, blah, 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 maybe, I guess, cool. But then you run a Freddie Kitchens offense where it's supposed to be to Baker Mayfield's strengths, and what happens? You look hot garbage. And then 2020, okay, cool. COVID, I won't even say COVID year. Finally, you have yourself a half and half good year, bad year, and then this year, no, you look bad. What about Myles Garrett? Well, Myles Garrett, he's a good pass rusher, but he's not better than T.J. Watt. Joel Petonio, I think he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. I do believe that. Wyatt Teller, you know how I feel, Hunter, about Wyatt Teller. Denzel Ward, he just gets injured too much. Kareem Hunt, he's on his way downhill. So there you go. Back to the Steelers. I feel like there's a little too much going on in terms of trying to trade for a quarterback of that caliber. Real quick, I do want to say, because I didn't get to do this before, I want to show you the... let me hide this real quick. Okay, there we go. So I want to show you the video of Ben Roethlisberger officially retiring here. This is per his Twitter account. So here you go. I'm going to show you guys this video real quick. So,
with the 11th pick in the 2004 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback, University of Miami.
I don't know how to put into words what the game of football has meant to me and what a blessing it has been. While I know with confidence I have given my all to the game, I am overwhelmed with gratitude for all it has given me. A boy from Findlay, Ohio with NFL dreams, developed in Oxford at Miami University, blessed with the honor of 18 seasons as a Pittsburgh Steeler and a place to call home. The journey has been exhilarating, defined by relationships and fueled by a spirit of competition. Yet the time has come to clean out my locker, hang up my cleats, and continue to be all I can be to my wife and children. I retire from football, a truly grateful man. First and foremost, I need to thank the Lord for all the many blessings He has bestowed on me. To my wife Ashley, our children Benjamin, Bailey, and Bodie, you lift and inspire me and give my life purpose. I am so thankful for your love and support. I love you so much. To my parents and sister, every step of the way, your support and love has driven me to be the best and never give up. To the Rooney family, the Tull family, Coach Tomlin, Coach Cower, and all of the coaches who have poured into me, the incredible people on every level that make the Pittsburgh Steelers a special organization. Thank you for believing in me and allowing me to battle with you in pursuit of excellence. To all of my teammates and the endless friendships that I have gained, I appreciate you and our shared commitment to wearing the black and gold with pride and dignity. Putting that jersey on every Sunday with my brothers will always be one of the greatest joys of my life. To Steeler Nation, the best fans in all of sport, thank you for accepting and supporting me as your quarterback over the years. Football has been a gift, and I thank God for allowing me to play it, surrounding me with great people and protecting me through to the end. With love and honor.
there we go. All right, so there was the video of Ben Roethlisberger. Why not? Why aren't you watching anymore, Hunter? But, so obviously, here, let me go ahead. Okay, there we go. So, obviously, with this whole thing with Ben Roethlisberger, it sucks. It really does. But it was, again, it was time. It was bound to happen. It needed to happen. And now we're officially onto a new era of Pittsburgh Steelers football. I do want to say, when it comes to Ben Roethlisberger, and I will mention the story, and then Hunter, when I get done with this, we're going to talk a little bit of baseball, and I know you're a big baseball person, so be prepared to really hop in here. Unlike a lot of people with the Steelers, myself included, Ben Roethlisberger was the only quarterback that I knew, and it was, hell no, I ain't talking about the clowns. I'll talk about how trash you guys are. I could do that. I have no problem with that. And what dumpster fire you guys are. But, like I said, as soon as I get done with this, we're going to talk baseball. it really sucks because what I'm feeling right now is kind of how maybe younger fans from the 70s were when Bradshaw retired, and that's all you knew was Bradshaw. Well, that's how I feel right now with Ben. So right now, this is a very unusual situation for not just me, but for a lot of Steeler fans, a lot of them that I know. So this is a very, very kind of messed up situation. Well, not messed up, but it's a very sad situation. And I'm just going to be very interested to see what happens in the future and see what this front office and the scouting can do. As a Browns fan, I only knew one great quarterback too, Jason Campbell. Miss him. Hashtag pay Baker. Yes, sir. Hashtag pay Baker Mayfield. There we go. But what's up, Marcus? How you doing tonight? Again, Marcus, my man. But I need to get some baseball here. Because the atrocity that we have seen over what we saw earlier this week in terms of the Hall of Fame voting, it's just downright pitiful and pathetic, honestly. Bring Cody Kessler back and pay him $50 million. Hey, y'all could bring back Noodle Arm Cody Kessler. Go right on ahead. We love that too. But going to, like I said, with the Hall of Fame for Major League Baseball, it's very just annoying at how they're handling everything. Right now, Major League Baseball, anytime that they're in huge talks or they're in headlines, it's all negative. And that's just absolutely terrible for the game. Especially when you were slowly making your way back up, and now you just crumble to where if you miss out on the season, which do I think is going to happen? No. But if you do, you're going to lose probably a third of the fan base, and most of them are not coming back. So David Ortiz is the only person to get voted into the Hall of Fame at 77 point something percent of the votes. And yes, he was the first ballot Hall of Famer. And yes, did I think he deserved to get in? Yes, absolutely. You look at his World Series stats, some of the best that you'll ever see. But to hold back Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, guys like those, guys like Pete Rose, to hold those guys back. Okay, all right. To hold those guys back out of the World Series or out of the Hall of Fame, it's just downright pathetic. When you have ESPN, the biggest sports outlet in the world, publish an article called "If Barry Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame, it's a failure," then you know that he needs to be in it. Absolutely. So you're meaning to tell me that your all-time league leader in home runs, Barry Bonds, not in the Hall of Fame. The pitcher who has the most Cy Young awards in history, Roger Clemens, not in the Hall of Fame. The guy that has the most hits of all time in Major League Baseball history, Pete Rose, not in the Hall of Fame. Sammy Sosa is the only player in Major League Baseball history to have multiple 60 home run years, not in the Hall of Fame. That's like saying Tom Brady is the league leader all time in passing yards, but not getting in the Hall of Fame. That'd be like Jerry Rice being the all-time league leader in receiving touchdowns and receiving yards, but not being in the Hall of Fame. That is how pathetic, when you really look at it from that perspective, how pathetic does that look? And I'm sorry, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting sick and tired of hearing people talk about, oh, the steroids, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. Why why was it that the commissioner at that time, why was it okay? It was technically, it was a rule, to not use steroids. But the commissioners really did not enforce that. And what they did instead was use that and let Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and them boys they use those to make profit, to really gain a new following for the game, and then the moment when there's over, okay, now you're gone. Nope, you're not getting in. So you used them when it benefited you, and the moment you were done with that, then no. Neither Bonds nor Clemens was charged with using PEDs. They were charged with making false statements late and later cleared. So there you go with that as well. Alex Rodriguez, I feel like part of that with him is just, part of it has to do with just how he was. And we all know, and Barry Bonds as well, we all knew that he was not a nice person. And I think that's one thing that's hurting him, and what helped David Ortiz is the fact that David Ortiz, who actually did test positive, what was it, in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. And that was also the thing, too. They didn't test at the time either. So it was like, whatever. But David Ortiz, he was real nice to the media. He became a part of the media. So I think that really helped him out. Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, all those guys, when you look at what they've done on the field, is by far they're Hall of Famers. By far. I mean, hell, you look at the stat of, what was it? The OPS I think it was OPS of David Ortiz. And if you took all 762 home runs of Barry Bonds, turned them all to outs, still is better than David Ortiz. That is how insane Barry Bonds was. And their names are still in the history books. So, why, if their names are still in the history books, then why are we thrashing the other players? Why are we thrashing them when their names are still in the leaderbook? I don't get it. Bonds and Clemens represented the best on-field performers in baseball and represented the era in which they played. When you add that up, they should be in Cooperstown enshrined in the Hall. There you go. And now, as a person who's never been to Cooperstown, as a guy that's never been to the Hall of Fame there, the way I'm looking at it is, why would I want to go and look at that when I feel like I'm not really going to see the best of the best there? Because the best of the best, a lot of them are not there. But I do want to say, I'm going to take a quick break. I do apologize, but I do need to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get into more of this. And then I got to call out some of the Cincinnati Bengals fans. So stay tight with me, everyone. We will be right back. Alrighty, there we are. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. I had to take a quick break for a second, but we are back now. So continuing on, oh my god, with these Hall of Fame discussion here. So get to some of your comments here. They played in the quote steroid era where everyone took them and they still ruled that time. The Baseball Hall of Fame is dope. We'll go there sometime. It's truly incredible. I mean, obviously, as a baseball fan, I would love to go. I mean, I'm wearing a Pittsburgh Pirates hat right now as we speak. So I love the game of baseball. It's just, and I think there's a whole lot of issues with baseball, which I think we'll save for another episode. Because I think there's a lot of things that are going wrong with Major League Baseball and how there's easy ways to really fix a lot of the issues with baseball. But we'll get into that in another episode. But yeah, there you go, in the steroid era. And so my personal theory is, okay, then how about this? No one gets in the Hall of Fame from the, quote, steroid era. How about that? Because we don't know who all used and who didn't use. I mean, Jim Thome, for an example, I love Jim Thome. I know, Hunter, you love Jim Thome. He was in that era. As of right now, we're under the assumption he didn't do it. But how do we know? We really don't know. So those are all things that we need to take into. So I don't know. Cooperstown as a whole is just a cool little city. Haven't been in such a long time. I'd love to go back. Road trip. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens because I definitely know of another person or two that would love to go as well. But real quick, I want to get into one more thing before we get on out of here. I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to end off a little early. But I do need to call out the whole entire AFC North, including the Steelers fan base. The Pittsburgh Steelers fans, the Cleveland Browns fans, and the Baltimore Ravens fans that are rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals to move on to the Super Bowl, to me, no, absolutely not. And I've been in a lot of discussions, and I've been on the minority on all these discussions, and that's fine. I figured I might be. But there's just absolutely no way in hell I'm rooting for another team in my division to go on to a Super Bowl. Hell no. Especially with the fact that I do not like Cincinnati at all. They don't like us. Hell no. I'm not doing that. Hell no. I mean, you hate the Chiefs. So my thing is, like, I guess it also doesn't help at the fact that I don't mind Kansas City. Like, I like Mahomes. I'm not, yeah, I do think that Jackson Mahomes is kind of a kook. And I also think that Brittany, what she did was kind of foolish. But, I mean, yet again, she doesn't necessarily annoy me to all that much. The NFL isn't fun to watch them break the league. I mean, my thing is I like to see greatness. And yes, as much as I do love Joe Burrow, don't get me wrong, I do like me some Joe Burrow. But outside of that, I've just always been brought up in no, hell no, I'm not rooting for any team in the AFC North. That's just, for me, it's just not happening. That is just my personal mindset when it comes to this. That's just honestly how I feel. And I know a lot of people just don't want to see Mahomes get in the Super Bowl. But I don't know. To me, nah. Regardless or not, though, I'm rooting for Stafford. I'm rooting for the Rams. That's who I want to see win the Super Bowl. But I think outside of that, I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to end off things a little early tonight. I do apologize. But I do want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you guys did enjoy. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that. You know the jazz. And until then, hope to see you in one of my next reaction videos. Or if not, see you next week on another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast here on Revolution Radio with Caleb being back. And until then, hope to see you then. Stay safe, everyone, especially during the snowy conditions. Stay safe. Peace out.